The difference between having fun and being productive. I'm Tony. Welcome back to Street Ball Strategies.
Calories count, fries hit the floor. Broccoli stash, carrots at the core. Fiction screens, they rot to the core. Burn in the sweat, can't ignore.
Today's video is not really a basketball-centered video. It's the beginning of 2025 when I'm recording this video, and because when I retired from being an active basketball player, I became more of a fitness guy. And so at the beginning of every year, I make a couple videos that are dedicated to losing weight and getting in shape and just general overall fitness. And really probably the only video about that I'm going to make this year is this video about the difference between having fun and being productive. Because you see, when you're the fitness guy and everybody knows you and sees you as the fitness guy, they will ask you for advice, how to lose weight and get in shape. And if you give them advice that actually works and actually has value to them, even if they listen to you, the reality is most people don't ever even put that advice into practice. And so when I was brainstorming this video, I thought about, okay, this video is going to be about how if you want to lose weight and you want to get in shape, the way you do that is to have fun, right? You eat foods that you enjoy, that are lower in calories. You do that over and over again. Your body has no choice but to lose weight. And the same concept with working out and exercising. It doesn't matter what exercise you do as long as you enjoy it. If you enjoy it, you'll repeat it. The more consistent you are, your body will have no choice but to keep burning calories and lose weight and get in shape. That was going to be the video, but then because I'm realistic and thus kind of a pessimist and kind of cynical, and I've gone through the process where nobody listens to the advice, I thought about, okay, well, first of all, even if I make the video, nobody's going to watch it. And even if somebody does watch it, they're not going to actually listen to the advice. And that brings into question, why? Why would they not listen to the advice? The answer is, the problem is that when I say enjoy yourself or have fun, especially in this generation today, in this day and age, many people immediately associate enjoyment and having fun with sitting down and staring at a TV screen that has fiction on it. To them, that's fun. That's the pinnacle of having fun. That's the problem. And I am a root of the problem kind of guy. I believe that if you get to the root of the problem and you solve the problem at its root, well, that's the most difficult way to go about solving a problem. But the great thing is, once you actually solve the root of the problem, that problem is solved once and forever. You are never going to have that particular problem ever again because you solved it at the root. So let's talk about the difference between being productive and having fun and how you can incorporate in that to getting in shape and losing weight. So let's solve this problem for why people think the epitome of having fun is sitting down and staring at a TV screen that has fiction on it. My reasoning for why this is happening is because when people are watching TV, they are distracted from the rest of their life. They don't have to think about the rest of their life. What's the problem with the rest of their life? Well, everything else in their life they are miserable about. Their family life, their work life. They are miserable. All of that, they're completely unhappy and unsatisfied with the rest of their life. And the only respite they get from all of that misery is when they sit down and stare at fiction on a TV screen. Now, I'm not saying this applies to everybody, but yes, there are many people that live that kind of life. The question then becomes why? Why do they do that? My reasoning for why this happens is because these people made terrible decisions. It was all on them. It was the decisions they made for themselves and their lives. For example, when they were kids, teenagers, they were in school, right? Instead of educating themselves, paying attention and becoming educated, they chose not to pay attention. They chose not to try. And then when school's done, they have no education. And then because they have no education, they can't actually go and get a good job, like a job that pays well, a job that they like, a job that they want to do, that they look forward to getting up every morning and going to. They're not educated, so they can't get that kind of a job. So instead, now they just go and get whatever job they can find, whatever job they will hire them. And most of the time, that job they don't do anything at that job that they want to do, so they don't like their job. They're there all day doing something they don't like to do, and it shouldn't pay enough because that worker that adult doesn't bring anything to the table because they have no education, so they can't demand an actual salary that pays them what they think they should be getting paid. So, in terms of work life, they're miserable. And for that kind of person, it is very probable, if that's their mentality when it comes to school and work, it probably also reflects in the way they handle their family life as well. So probably their family life, they're miserable in that as well. So work life, family life is miserable. The only respite they get from that is when they can sit down and watch fiction on a TV screen. What does that have to do with working out and losing weight? Well, in terms of overall making your life better, right? It would just be the obvious, easy thing to say would be like, okay, well, just, improve your work life and your family life, and then you'll have a better life overall, and it'll make getting in shape and losing weight that much more easier. That's easy to say, but that's much more complicated to do. Because when you talk about work life and family life, you're talking about interacting with other people. And when you're interacting with other people, you can't control what they think and what they do and how they interact with you. You can't control that. You can't make them behave the way you want them to behave. And so it can be so much more complicated when you involve other people. But when we're talking about getting in shape and losing weight, that's all on you. You lose weight. You exercise. You eat. It's all on you and the decisions that you make. So it's much less complicated and much more straightforward. What I'm suggesting is you start with the easier, less complicated stuff like how you eat and how you exercise. You figure out how to do that stuff in a way that you enjoy and is effective for you. And then the principles that you learn from having done that, you can then apply later on to making that same progress with your work life and your family life. So now that we've defined what the problem is and how we should go about solving it, let's actually dive deeper into the solution concerning actual eating and exercise. Many people make the mistake that when they think about getting in shape and losing weight, that it has to be torture in order for it to be working and to be effective. If it's not torture, if it doesn't feel like torture, then it's not working. Like, I have to punish myself for letting myself get so out of shape. And if I don't do that, then it's not working, which creates the problem. Like, okay, now you're punishing yourself. And now you feel like you're tortured every day by the food that you eat and how you have to exercise. You have to do those things. You have to do them a very specific way, which you don't like, but you have to do it that way. It has to feel like torture. And sure, anybody can force themselves to do that stuff for a certain amount of time. A week, a month, whatever it may be, but because you don't like it, you're just going to give up eventually. And when you do, all of the progress you made, all the weight you lost is just going to go away, and you're going to return to being out of shape and overweight. So instead, do stuff that you like. It really is that simple. Find lower calorie versions of the food you already like and eat those foods. Find lower calorie versions of whatever foods that you may like and eat those foods that you actually like, foods that you actually look forward to eating, that you don't dread eating. You're not supposed to fixate on food, but you're definitely not supposed to look at it as like misery either. Like, if all you do is go from eating the normal American diet every day at the end of the year, and suddenly it's January and now you force yourself to only eat salads every day with no dressing on them, then sure, you can force yourself to do that, but you don't like it. So sooner than later, you're going to stop. And when you do and go back to that American diet, you're just going to put all the weight back on anyway. So instead, find lower calorie versions of the food you already eat and eat those foods. Like them, look forward to them, want to eat them. And then food by food, meal by meal, just change your overall daily diet. You don't have to do it all at once. In fact, you probably shouldn't. The more sort of turbulence, the more change there is all at once, the more you're probably not going to like it, the more you're not going to be able to sustain it. So just do it slowly. Do it food by food, meal by meal, over a long period of time. Change to lower calorie versions of the foods you like so that little by little, you just change your daily diet to foods that you still like it's still 80% of the flavor and taste that you're used to, but now it has way less calories, and so now your body has no choice but to lose weight. And you're still eating the foods that you like and you enjoy. Foods that are lower in calories, but at the same time are more satiating than the empty calorie foods you used to eat. Those foods exist and you can't eat them every meal. It is very doable. The same principle applies to exercise. It doesn't matter what kind of exercise you do. You don't have to punish yourself. You should not be punishing yourself. You should not be torturing yourself. You don't have to do traditional exercise. You don't have to get on the treadmill. You don't have to lift weights. You could, and that's perfectly fine, and that stuff will work, but you don't have to. Do whatever you want that you enjoy, as long as you're moving, as long as your heart rate is up and you're breathing harder than normal and you're burning calories and you enjoy it. The enjoyment is the main factor. That way, you'll continue to do it. You'll repeat doing it. You'll be consistent. You'll want to do it. You'll look forward to doing it. The consistency is key. Do whatever you like. Go swimming, go hiking, ride a bike, do tap dancing. It doesn't matter. Think outside the box. Just move your body, burn calories, and have fun. The quote-unquote hardest part of this process is going to be researching and experimenting, finding out what the foods and exercises you actually like. You're probably going to have to go through many to figure out which ones you like the best. Now, maybe you'll even get lucky and you'll just immediately just find foods and exercises that you like immediately, but the chances are you'll have to experiment with a few different ones until you find the ones that you like. But the upside to that is that in going through that experimenting process, you're probably going to experience things that you never have before and like things that you have never liked before. But it's going to take that time and effort of experimenting to find what you actually like. The good news is, like, once you actually find that stuff, now you just get to live a life where you're doing things that you like. You're eating things on a daily basis that you like and you look forward to, and same with exercise. When you do that for your diet and your exercise, your body has no choice but to lose weight and get in shape. And you get to have fun. It's not torture. It's not punishment. That's the contrast between being productive and having fun. My point is, stop associating sitting still and watching fiction on a TV screen to be the best major way to have fun. It's not actually fun. It's just a distraction from the rest of your life that you don't like. And since work life and family life are so much more complicated to get a handle on than your diet and your exercise, figure out your diet and exercise first. And then once you do that, you'll soon discover, like, oh, I would rather be exercising than watching whatever TV show I used to watch. Or you can combine the best of both worlds, and while you're doing whatever exercise, you can watch whatever on the TV. You don't have to, but if that's what helps you get through whatever exercise you're doing, especially in the beginning, then fine. But eventually you want to get to a place, and you probably will, where you're like, oh, I don't need TV anymore because I don't need to be distracted from my life anymore because I'm learning how to get a handle on it in a way that I actually enjoy. And you can do that with the simple stuff like diet and exercise first, and then the principles that you learn from that can then be carried over to your work life, to your family life, so that you can start living that part of your life in ways that you enjoy as well. It'll be more complicated, but you can still do it in a way where step by step you enjoy it and have fun, and then create that part of your life to be what you want it to be as well. It's easier said than done, but it's completely doable. So I want to thank you guys for watching. If you like this video, if you found it helpful at all, if you think it's going to help you be able to at least start to lose weight and get in shape, then please subscribe to the channel. And let us know down in the comments, what are the things that you have found that have helped you to be able to lose weight and get in shape while enjoying yourself? What foods did you find that you didn't expect to find that you actually enjoy that are lower calorie than you used to eat? Or what exercises that you were surprised to find that you enjoy that you didn't expect to enjoy? Let us know down in the comments. But before you comment, make sure you hit that thanks button down below, because not only does hitting that thanks button make any comment you make highlighted from any other comment, but it also directly supports the channel. So for anyone that does hit that thanks button, know I genuinely appreciate it. As always, like, share, comment, like I said. Make sure you hit that notification bell so you're notified whenever any video goes live on this channel. And until then, I'll see you guys next week.
Dumbbell dreams, push so lean, screen zombies, live routine, treadmill grind, life's unseen, peace and sweat, pure and clean. Jump, lift, reps non-stop, healthy eats, munching on top. Find your flow, never flip-flop, live in real time, not a backdrop.